take 40. Okay, I'll come back to that later. Good morning, folks. Good morning, Mr. Andrew, Mr. Nick. Good morning, that's me. Good morning, Potter. Jenny, good evening. Good afternoon, End Sale. And indeed, quick sound check. Everything coming through okay this morning? Okay, so what are we seeing? Let's just pull back to my main screen. Okay, so dollars in a reasonably tight range. There's three things I think that are really in the market for me at the moment to the end of the week. And clearly, of course, we've got the all-important French elections coming up over the weekend, which I think you're going to possibly see some position squaring before the elections of coming in. The euro is definitely going to be under pressure. I don't personally think, and from the analysis that I've been reading over the last couple of weeks or so, I think the market is there's risk in the market, certainly in terms of where the euro is, but I don't think it's fully priced in the risk to the to the downside. Now, I think if there's two outcomes really. I mean, this is the first round of the election, so we know that they're not going to be decided this weekend. It's going to be going to the second round. And of course, it all depends on how well Le Pen, the far left, does, and how well Mélenchon also does as well. Now, if either of them do well in the polls in the Sunday's election, then obviously that's going to be negative going into the second round. The best way the market will see this is if Macron gets in with star is a star performer on Sunday. And of course, the euro is going to like that. But what I'm thinking here is that the euro really has been possibly pricing almost that in terms of a good result, and I think a negative result, anything worse than that, has more downside to the euro than a possible upside to the euro if the pause is to be expected and Macron gets in and. So I think certainly this weekend is crucial. I don't normally trade on a Sunday, but I will be certainly at my screens on Sunday night. I might even pop in for a stream on Sunday as well if you're around. We'll see how that pans out. I'll have a chat with Jason, see if one of us will come on. We had some French numbers out a moment ago. French manufacturing PMI, which came in a lot better than expected. The euro took a small bit on it, but not a great deal. So the French elections really are the key for this weekend. So position squaring up ahead of the weekend. So I'm expecting the euro not to push on much or even have a major sell-off. I think euro dollar is going to be contained at 107.50. Anything above there up to the 108 level is definitely going to hit into resistance against the US dollar. Now, the other thing that is key overnight, which you may not or may not follow, is what's been happening in iron ore. Now, iron ore, as we've been watching over the last few weeks, has been collapsing. Iron ore, basically last night in Asia, took a royal run up over 7%, which has given the Australian dollar a bid. So as we've known, Australian dollar has been under huge pressure over the last few weeks, not only for weaker numbers, but also on the fact of commodity prices coming lower, oil, iron ore, copper and so forth. Iron ore is their biggest export. And of course, we've seen this bid overnight in iron ore prices up 7% on not such good numbers that came out of on supply side of iron ore, but the price still exceeded. So you might see. So this is something you should be paying attention to, especially if you're trading the Aussie pairs. And I think, as I've been talking about in the week, a lot of the markets have been talking about Aussie weakness. I think the analysts, the retail traders that I speak to, they're sort of like they're all getting on the bandwagon of Aussie weakness. So there's some short possible positioning in there, short covering positioning in there. So you might look at possibly buying Aussie pairs today for some continuation of that short covering ahead into the weekend. It's been a big short play on that currency. So we're going to look at that as well. And third thing I want to look at basically which relates to the dollar, really, is the Treasury Secretary yesterday. You know, the Trump inflation trade that we've been on since the last 6 months or so. You know, it's all on the back of tax reforms and infrastructure spending and reduction of all the what's it called, regulation reduction and what have you. God, that's the Alzheimer's kicking in. And but over the last month or 2 months or so, we haven't really heard too much about the tax reform. They didn't get their health bill through. Now yesterday, the Treasury Secretary was talking about, we will get the tax reform through. This is a priority, and it's all going ahead. And the stock market's like this. Now the stock market put on a 200-point move or so. I mean, let's look at the stocks. I mean, the stock market basically caught a bid on the back of this. Yields were lifted on the back of this. 10 years bonds were sold off, and 10-year yields were lifted on the back of this. The stock market put on, stock market put on a couple of 100 points, really, from 400 up to 250 points. The stock market put on, but with all this, massive, tax reform is massive for the US. Now here he is now for the first time he's mentioning it. Out of the blue almost. We weren't expecting this talk yesterday about the tax reform, how they're going to be pushing it through. Stock market put on 200 points, but it still didn't break the week's high. The week's high back up 2,000. I mean, it's only a smidge off it, but I mean, up at 20,650 was the week's high from Tuesday. And we didn't break there. Significantly enough, if the market believes this. If the market believes that this is going to be high on the agenda and it's going to be pushing through, this stock market should be back up at 21,000. The dollar index should be back above 101. So I'm just getting the feeling now that the market is almost. This is the dollar index. It's not. That's gold, but it's dollar index. Dollar index really should be much higher than here. If you're to believe that this tax reform is going to be back on the agenda, back on the focus, this dollar index should be much higher than here it is at the moment. But I think the market's almost getting to the phase or the stage now that it's too much talk and not enough doing. Not a lot has happened in terms of the Trumpflation policies that got us up here in the first place. We're not seeing too much. I'm just thinking the market is getting a little bit bored of this talk and all this rhetoric and not enough delivery. So that's why I'm still remaining bearish on the US dollar at the moment until we actually see something positive coming out. The economic data that's coming out of the US over the last couple of weeks or so, starting from non-farm payroll a couple of weeks ago, just below 98, below 100,000. Housing starts this week. Philly Fed yesterday or the day before, whenever that was. Philly Fed yesterday, I think it was. They're not such great. Numbers coming out of the. They're not such great numbers coming out of the States, and I just think that the US stocks and bonds, excuse me a second, I just want to check something, and so that's why I'm still looking at playing dollar from the downside at the moment in time. That's the longer term view. Remember we trade intraday here, so I could have plays that are capitalising on dollar strength over short term plays, short term 15 1 hour charts and what have you. But the overall longer term bias for me is still not convinced by the dollar strength, and I'm still looking at my Trump candle on the dollar index. For some reason it's gone here. This is the Trump candle back down to here. My analysis, all my lines have gone for some reason. Back down to the 98.60 level on the dollar index is still something that I think has got to be on the target. It's still 100 points away, unless we see something coming positive out of it. So consequently, how am I going to play that at the moment? I still think geopolitical concerns are on the back of minds. The Japanese finance minister was talking yesterday, and about Japanese. The Japanese finance was talking yesterday about the geopolitical concerns. Also bullish again for the Japanese yen. So shorting dollar yen really on the right entry for me. It certainly has my bias. So this is my sell zone. It's been in for a while. We're into the sell zone now. Anything between 130 and 150. Selling in here. Intraday. Logical stops above this swing high from last week, from the 12th of April. That's a 60 pip stop. And you can get down to a 2-to-1 if you want to test the lows of the week, back down at the 108.50 or 108.20 level, something like that. So I think on a risk reward, selling into here at the moment, unless you see something firm coming out of the US in terms of inflationary pressures, which we're not seeing necessarily at the moment. It's trucking along the US economy, but not motoring ahead. Confidence is waning. It's still good, but it's waning, I think, there. So unless we see something really positive coming out of here, then non-farm payroll, of course, next month. We'll see how that pans out. But so that's my play here on the dollar yen. So I quite like that as a play. The stock markets should be higher. They're not. They haven't broken the week's high, so I think that's possible. Also going to roll over. Let's have a look here. So we're in here into this key. This is the dollar yen 4 hour into key resistance here at the moment, and that from the naked eye. I don't pull up fibs. I can always tell them off by heart now. That from a naked eye is a 38% fib level as well. So from the 4 hour chart, from the highs, from this swing high back from the 6th of April. When was that? That was the 10th of April. So that swing high, we're into a 38% level as well. So you've got a fib level, and you've got consolidation level, old support, now resistance for dollar yen continuation to the downside. So that's my thought on that. Okay. While we are on potential possible dollar flatlining to weakening, let's have a look at the Aussie dollar. We're at the this is the dollar. We've been sort of ranging 75, 76. You could find this catch a bid today. It's had a day and a half. Well, all day yesterday we were meandering higher. Aussie was pushing higher as sort of dollar wasn't doing very much. Bit of profit taking from all this sell-off. Now we're pushing higher again. This is the second day. We haven't quite broken session highs from yesterday, 107.46. So as we approach, this is at 75.35. As we approach this level of support. Old support, now resistance here. If you're looking back to the left of the chart, it's 50% of this big move as well. You can see that from the naked eye. 50% pullback. If we break through the 75.50 level, then I think the next target is going to be looking to continuation. We have to see what happens to iron ore prices as well. That really has caught a bid in bizarre market conditions. It's just really motoring on, and that really could see some moves back and short covering, running to the doors in Aussie. So back up to 76 without too much of a struggle. So look at that as well. Possible getting long Aussie dollar for an intraday play as well if you break this level of possible resistance. And another one to look at in Aussie strength. Now we're on the Aussie. I'll jump back to the dollar in a moment. I'll look at dollar euro and dollar pound. But just while we're on the Aussie, look at Aussie New Zealand. Aussie New Zealand is defying all economic data this week. CPI came out in New Zealand this week, which was good CPI numbers, which basically got a lot of analysts talking about possible rate hikes in New Zealand sooner rather than later. It should have been good for the New Zealand, but New Zealand didn't necessarily perform as you would expect. And look at now the Aussie New Zealand failed to break through the 106.50 level convincingly. The level to the downside we spoke about, 105.75. It failed to break it, found support, and now we're back up into this level of resistance. Let me just make that a bit clearer for you. Okay, so this let's take that fib lower. Okay, so we've broken through the 50% level in the Aussie New Zealand in terms of the pullbacks. Broken through the 50%. It's holding around the 61.8%. If you look, if you look left as well, 68.1% is also this level of support here. So this is a key level, Aussie New Zealand. If you break back here, then look to retest the 108.40 level. So mine's on here at the moment. It's defying the market in terms of economic data, New Zealand, but the commodity prices are pushing the Aussie back, being the major exporter. So looking at that as well, Aussie New Zealand. I'm not going to buy it just at these levels. I mean, I'd like to see it break through and come back to retest for a push on up. I'm not going to buy into this brick wall at the moment, but not going to sell it either. I'd want to see a breakthrough of this resistance for a continuation on a pullback into it. So often you'll see these levels, break through, test it. The breakout traders get long. They realise that there's not much mileage in it. They stop out. They sell out, get stopped out, back down to the breakout level, and then it continues off to the upside. So I'll play this one, Aussie New Zealand, to the upside. Now, if you remember yesterday, I got caught on this. I was shorting Aussie on the back of just continuing sliding. I mean, I obviously didn't have the crystal ball for say a 7% turnaround in iron ore prices. I mean, iron has been under massive pressure now for a few weeks, and New Zealand has some great numbers, so New Zealand was catching a bit. Anyway, I got caught short on that, 30 pip stop or whatever it was, 40 pip stop, so not a big problem on it. But I'm man enough to admit when I'm wrong, and now I think that was definitely wrong, and this could continue up to the upside if we push through this level of resistance. So Euros is a play possibly. Okay, Euros now. The Euro's been in an uptrend against the Aussie, as we know, weakening Aussie. Okay, that's turned around. We're now back. We broke this support level in the Euros, which was let's put up the crosshairs. Support level was the 142.45 area. So we've broken this support, traded back down to 142. Now back into this. So this old support possibly could be the next resistance for a rollover, with the fears of the risk factor coming into the weekend. So I'm not going to be holding any trades in Euro over the weekend. It's just not worth it. It's not worth the gamble for me. There's 220 trading days of the year. So there's other opportunities to get involved rather than this weekend over high risk areas. So Euros, on a day trade, you might see a bit of position squaring. So selling around the 142.40 level. For this to be wrong, you've really got to get some positive news before they go to the polls on Sunday. Which this is not a matter of rumours and inside word and what have you. They haven't gone to the polls yet. So you'd need to see something really, really positive coming out. For we just had the French numbers coming out, didn't move the market very much. So we need to see something really positive coming out of Euro for this trade to be wrong at the moment. So selling Euros is potentially a trade as well. I'm going to put a couple of these trade ideas out in a moment when I take one of these trades. Now the only let's have a look. I tell you then. We're focusing on the Aussie. I know focusing on the Aussie quite a lot. Aussie yen. The Aussie yen. I can't really see much going on in the Aussie yen. Just back into trending to the upside. Yen weakness. Yen continues to weaken. On the strength meter, still the second weakest currency across on the 4 hour. Just on the 1 hour. On the 1 hour, it's coming for flatlining really on the 1 hour. Aussie yen, I haven't really got much of a say in at the moment on the Aussie yen, so we'll leave that one there. So let's have a look at pound. Now, has pound run its course? I don't think so in terms of the US dollar. Now, let's have a look at pound dollar. Looking to buy into pullbacks in pound dollar. You know, it's stalling at this level, certainly stalling here. This is a level of resistance, this grey zone here, level of resistance. These fibs are now, this spike was about a 2-minute spike. I'm not looking at this on a fib level. I mean, I don't trade off fibs necessarily anyway. I use them for confluence. But we're in this consolidation area at the moment in the pound dollar. Bias for me is still a continuation, but I do think the market may have got some pullback in it before we get long again. So my pullback area, I mean, not primarily because it's only a fib level, but I think back to the 75.50 level. Yeah, 75.50 level above the 38 here, just around that's 75.30. 27.30. I think the 27.50 level is a place where I would consider getting back long pound dollar. Not really wanting to fly with this just at the moment. You know, I think this is a level of we've had some great news out of the UK this week in terms of pound. It's had its rally. For it to push up through 129 to 130, I think you need some more catalysts. I think you need some more positive data or positive news coming out. And as I've been saying for many weeks now, months indeed, the pound dollar is my trade for the beach. It's the buy the long. I remember I've been talking about from 122. I was saying buy 129 calls. Okay, we're up there now almost. So those calls would not be far from in the money. So my long-term view, 129 calls. That's the right to buy, which is a bullish trade. I still think that's the right trade. But whether we get through the 129, 130 level ahead of the election, well, over the next couple of weeks, I should say. Once we build up to the election, maybe in 3 weeks, 4 weeks time, and much more comes out in terms of general, more reliable opinion polls, we'll see. But even if the opinion polls are showing at the moment that the Tory government the Conservative government could get up to 100, 120 seat majority. They've got about 12 seat majority at the moment. If they get up to 120 seats, well, let's be honest. We've still got Brexit negotiations ahead. I mean, the negotiations yesterday. The president of the European Parliament was in London yesterday. Positive voices coming out of him talking about that he's delighted that we're having the election to give it some more stability. So that's deemed to be positive. But down the road, over the next 2 years, there's going to be some hiccups along the way. But long-term bias for me is still to the upside. But negotiations haven't started, and they could get nasty. I think we'll come out okay, and I think in 5 years' time we'll be looking back and saying, "Gosh, all those people that sat on the fence, or all those Ramonas." Personally, I think you've gathered which way I am on the subject. But I think in 5 years' time you'll look back and say, "What a great move that was." As David Cameron's setting up Goldman Sachs or whatever he's doing at that time. So that's the pound dollar cable. My only position at the moment is long pound yen. Okay, so I'll just have a quick look at pound yen, then I'll go and have a look at what's going on in the chat. My position, well, I'm long gold as well. I'll have a quick look at gold, but I'm long pound yen as well. I was long euro yen yesterday, as per my trade idea. I got stopped out for 30 pips, I think it was, but that's the way it goes. Not worried about that. I've been in the game far too long to worry about being stopped out. Pound yen, still long here, hovering around the 140 level. Okay, so my stop in here, I'm long from 139.65. Okay, and my stop is below 130, below the 139 level. So 139.93. So I've got a reasonable stop on that. It's a 70 pip stop on that. I'm not going to be panicking out of this trade over the weekend. I'll let this one go. We'll see how it pans out this afternoon. But I'm looking to this to break these levels. just pull up here. So yesterday's highs, it failed it 1, 2, 3, 4 times yesterday. 140.50. If we break here today, then we'll be looking up to test the highs. I think up to 141, something like that, 142. So I'm still happy with this trade in terms of direction. It's the pair that I think has got some more mileage in terms of pound strength than possibly the others, which are coming into possible roadblock resistance. So if you look at the pound against all the other currencies, okay, we're all these levels here: pound Swiss, pound dollar. We're not far off now. It sort of peaks. So I think pound yen for me still has the bias for me as the preferred trade. Right, let's have a quick look at the it's half an hour in. Let's have a quick look at the chat. Anything coming out of the chat? Not a lot going on in there. Norbert. Okay. Mr. Milner, European Central Bank is likely to keep policy unchanged. Yep, I think the European Central Bank is likely to keep policy unchanged, but they are. I think the most important thing about the next European Central Bank meeting is the talk afterwards. Of course, remember they were misinterpreted last time, and they talked about their view of tapering, and they believe that the market misinterpreted them. And then seemed to reverse that. So Euro caught a bid and then reversed when they sort of made their clarification. There is, there's still talk in the street that they're looking to curb their asset purchases at some point. We know that obviously they're going to taper at some point, but the wording after the policy will be all important. Mr. Milner, I think, in that. Right, any trade ideas coming out of the... We've got some trade ideas. Richard, 47 minutes ago, got a couple of trade ideas from you. Your long euro pound. Let's see where your targets are there. You haven't got a target. Long euro pound on 106.99. Look for the bullish to take it over in the 4-hour time frame. Yep, but obviously we've got big fundamentals, big elections coming up here. Stop loss is 106. Yeah, 30 pip stop. I mean, sorry. I think we've got some issues. Your long entry is 107.21. Your stop loss is, you've obviously mistyped that, but your stop loss is down here. Okay, your take profit's up here at 109. This should be take profit 109.60. I don't think we're going to get up to 109 personally today, ahead of the weekend. But if you've got a stop loss in there, and when we open up on Sunday night, you could see some slippage there, which means the markets open up way outside of your stops and so forth. So do be mindful of that if you're taking positions over the weekend. Slippage can hurt you on days like this. The market can gap massively. And short euro yen. Okay, so basically that's long. No, that's basically short dollar yen. So you're basically short dollar yen with those two trades in mind. So you've sold here. Trend bearish retracement to resistance. The resistance at 108.40 on a 4-hour chart. Short at 1786. Stop loss is, yeah, you got a good risk reward on that. It'd be nice if you get that risk reward. I like the bias, but I think that has got quite a large. I mean, who knows? I mean, the elections. I'm not saying you should get out of your position just because won't be holding euro positions over the weekend. You might want to take these. I mean, you've got quite wide stops. You've got quite a wide. Well, it's not so wide there on the stop loss, but yeah, I mean, it could happen. I mean, it might be right to run these, longer term trades over the weekend. It's not something that I'm going to be more inclined to do. Argit, what are we doing, Argit? Short Aussie CAD. Don't know about that one at the moment. Excuse me. Not sure about that. Aussie's caught the beard. CAD's under pressure with oil prices. But there's no real theory behind the trade. But I see you've got this fanned out moving fanned out trend lines. Yep. Stop below here, I guess. Slick FX. Short pound Aussie. Yeah, here we go. Aussie heading for 76 against the dollar, and pound heading south. I'm looking, although not placed. Take profit take profit 67.10. My hold over the weekend. May hold over the weekend. I feel like a positive wrap. So really worth holding. Can you influence political? Okay, watching manually. Okay. Yeah. Well, you got iron ore prices, commodity prices supporting this trade, and possible. Yeah, you're possibly right. Possibly the pound ran its course, so it's had a great week. I mean, gosh, you look at we had a massive move in pound Aussie over the announcement. I mean, I think it's about 500 pip move in pound Aussie. So yeah, this is a 65 up to 7,500 pip move. So yeah, we've got some possible retracement in here. No problems with this trade in terms of giving back some of this ground. Okay, back down to 67 level. Yeah, take profit at 67. Can't grumble at that one. Slick FX. Six hours ago. Oh, was I asleep? Yeah, I was asleep. Nicely described idea like this. Okay, so we're long Swiss yen. Okay, all on the chart. Long at the green line at 109 here. Take profit at the blue line. Yeah, okay, got that. Above the swing high, and stop loss below the 61.8, which is down here. No problems with that one. Night BK. So this is a. I don't know if you are long or saying get long. Yeah, but yeah, I like that one. Pull back into a level of consideration, which is at confluence here. So you've got support, you've got you've got fib level, confluence support. Yep, no problem with that. It's a 4-hour chart. Short intraday trade for target, not too aggressive target. Up to 50% pullback of the move. Yeah, good move. Nice little order, nice little trade idea there, Night BK. So thanks for that. Nick, are you looking at anything? Are you listening in? Have you got any trade ideas coming out? I am. The only other trade I'm in, guys, is and I've been in it for a while. I'm just going to hold this one. Is long gold. Okay, so I've been long gold now for a while. For geopolitical risk in view of I think the dollar is bias is more to the downside. I think there's more, geopolitical concerns to come out. We had that, so it seems to have alleviated somewhat this week, but it won't be long before I think it kicks off again. So I quite like this. So this is my buy zone. I bought it back here somewhere. It's pipped into it a couple of days ago, a few times yesterday into the buy zone, and now we're above the buy zone. My stop is well below at the 1260 level. If we get down to 1260, I am clearly 1268 is my stop. I'm clearly wrong, but I'm targeting a breakthrough of the 1300 at some point up to the. I've only got a 30 cents trade on it, but my target to the upside is 1310, which is up here. Here we are. My initial target is 1310. In this, which is a good risk reward, and I'm just going to leave that one run as a back book trade, if you like. Excuse me a second, the screen's going to go blue for a second, or black I should say. Just bear with me a moment. Okay, so Jenny, pound yen not to buy. Come on, Jenny, let's post a trade idea. Looking forward to a trade idea from you, Jenny. Today, I'm sure your boss won't mind. Doesn't mean you've got to take the trade, but let's just see a trade idea posted in the window. That's your challenge for the day, Jenny. Nice trade idea. Right. Insale price action not so nice this morning. It's a choppy old market today. I mean, I'm not going to be too actively getting involved. I actually don't mind taking a short dollar yen trade if we pop up. Short Aussie dollar possibly. Right, guys, I'll leave it there. Jason and I are on together, so it might be might have more to say, but I think it's going to be good to catch up with both of us on stream together. We'll be coming on together later. Oh, let me just pull up this again because someone wasn't quite clear about this yesterday. Here we've got it labelled as catch up. We might be changing this logo here, but if you want to check the upcoming streams, you just hit this drop down button and you can see the next streams are coming up. Tony's on at 10. Actually, Tony, we'll be discussing this later today. Tony's actually going to have to delay this today for those of you listening in. Tony will be on at an hour later than this schedule, depending. This is 10 my time zone, but of course your time clocks will be different. Oh, he's moved it here to 11 o'clock. That's right. So this one here, 10, is going to be scrapped. He's on at 11 o'clock, and then you've got Andrew and Jason on. At myself and Jason on at 1:45 London time, and I'll just end off the weekend with a London wrap. I'm not going to schedule in Sunday just in case, but I think I'll pop on Sunday just to see how we're getting on. Ollie boy. Looking to buy or sell? Yep, so am I. If we can see a confirmed price action to the upside and sell when we see those support levels were broken. You're looking to buy or sell. Okay. Euro CAD. Your entries one spot 4440. I'm not quite sure what the trade idea is, to be honest, Ollie. Are you looking to buy or sell at 144.40? Upside and sell. Let me see the support levels. So you're looking for a breakout trade, it looks like. Okay. So you're looking for a breakout. Euro CAD, both. Let's have a look. Okay. Let me just move that over there. Euro CAD. Let's have a look at the Euro CAD. Is he behind there? Excuse me a sec. So Euro CAD flatlining today into the weekend. Euro under pressure, CAD under pressure. Yeah. If we didn't have the weekend, big news for me, I'd be looking to buy this. As you know, you can tell that straight away. We're coming in. No, I'm a buyer of this all day, to be honest. Euro CAD. CAD's under pressure with oil prices, border taxes. Yeah, CAD's weakening across the board. Euro, for the I don't take views. Well, I do take views, but I don't necessarily trade off views. I think I think the French will deliver the right result, and I think the euro is going to push on. So for me, this I'd only be playing this from the downside. I'm playing this from the upside. So buying around a pullback here, for me, I don't necessarily trade breakouts so much, but you're looking to trade a breakout. Breakout above 144.50. Breakout above here would be a buy. Up to 145, the highs, Euro CAD, and the lows of 30 pips. If you break the session lows, then you're out of that trade. I'll be possibly buying around here. I'll be buying any pullbacks in here. Sorry, I'm waffling on, but I'll be buying any pullbacks on that one. I'm not quite sure of your trade idea, but maybe you've clarified it now. Jenny says, tell me what trade idea you want to post. Well, why not? I'll tell you what, Jenny, why not post a trade idea for and obviously I'm not holding you to it. Trade ideas are ideas. There's not, they're not right and wrong trades. We don't value people on, but not pound yen. Okay, I was just about to say pound yen. What about placing a trade idea on the Aussie, pound Aussie. Pound Aussie, my bias, pound Aussie is possibly the... okay, pound Aussie, please. Pound Aussie. A nice idea on the pound Aussie. What you think? What you see in the pound Aussie? Which will be good to see. So, Ollie, what were you saying? Anything? Waiting for the breakout. Yeah, you're waiting for the breakout, not the CAD. Okay, it's not a valid entry. Fair enough, yeah. Okay. Euro CAD is Potter. Euro long good in theory, in my opinion. Yeah, I agree with Potter. Long Euro CAD is the bias for me. Buying into pullbacks. CAD weakness, possible Euro strength. Right, in fear of boring you, I look forward to Jenny's post. It's not a challenge. We're not going to hold you to it, and I know you're not going to be trading it. It's just an idea. That's what these ideas are like. There's no bad ideas in here. You know, the reason why we have this, and it's really powerful, because you've got to know what other people are doing. It's very insular trading, on the screen. I used to trade in a trading pit for 20 years, standing there shouting, screaming at people. You always get to know what other people are doing, what people are thinking. Trading on your screens is very, very difficult to know what other people are thinking. Yeah, we all read the analysis, we all read, Goldman Sachs and ANZ and all the analysis, but what other traders are thinking, what they're looking at is really important. So these trade ideas are just ideas. I had a trade idea yesterday. I was in New Zealand, didn't work out, doesn't matter. I mean, I'm not saying people should follow my trade ideas, it's just what I'm thinking. Over the last 6 months or so, you've got to know how I think. Taking losses, no problems at all taking losses. It's the way it happens. I just take, as many wins as I take losses, and my wins are bigger than my losses, and I, put the kids through school in the back of it. So these trade ideas are just exactly that. They're just ideas. So never going to be frowned upon. Just nice to see what other people are doing, and that's why it works. And there's no need to be shy with trading ideas. I know we've got some new people in the room as well, so get out there and put some trade ideas. I haven't seen this one before. I haven't seen this name, I should say. Short gold. Haven't seen Santho. Excuse me for not pronouncing your name correctly. Short silver. I beg your pardon, not gold, silver. At 17.96. Stop 18.21. Yeah, no theory behind it, but this is a trading view, I presume. The risk reward works. Don't necessarily agree with the bias myself, but could work. Yeah, I like that idea. Thanks indeed. Haven't seen a trade idea from yourself before, so that's good. Travis, I think you're new in the room as well. If not, I apologise. Euro pound is a good risk reward. I don't disagree with that. This is 9 hours ago, but I don't disagree with that. I would buy it through 83.60 with some bullish evidence. There's a lot of room to run to the top side of the range. Usually it is wise to take profits as you get up there, or take off half to see where level breaks out. Also watch 86.30 for maintenance area to see how price reacts up there. Thanks for that, Travis. Looks like you've got some experience in the markets as well. So yeah, I'll like that. Obviously these are 8 hours ago, so I presume these people are now not online, so I won't go through too many more of them. Short gold, long euro, dollar. Short euro pound. See, this is what's good. I mean, people have different views. Long euro pound, short euro pound. It's all good to see the different views. So do keep the trade ideas coming. For those of you that are new, if you want to download my FX Propulsion strategy, you go to this tab here. This is my ebook produced by Dom and the boys, very professionally done, out of my skill set, but it's been well done. Basically it talks about my strength meter and how I put it together, how it works, and the theory behind it. Buying strong currencies, selling weak currencies, keeping out currencies that are moving together, keeping out of currencies that are both strong. Put the odds in your favour. Buy one that's not doing what the other's doing. Good afternoon, good day, Wing traders, Wing FX, I should say. Good afternoon. Arjit, Aussie CAD will rally. Aussie CAD will rally in terms of, yeah, I mean, that's the bias at the moment. I mean, don't go buying it on what I say. I'm it's a $5 trillion a day market. Who am I to know? I just take better profits on my winners than I do on my losers, and I go with, overall bias of trend. And as we know, trends don't, markets are not always trending. They only trend 30-40% of the time. But I pick markets when they are trending and whatever. But only, my bias would be long Aussie over CAD at the moment. On twofold, I've gone through it now. I mean, maybe you didn't see the stream earlier, but Aussie's had a big sell-off over the last few weeks in terms of commodity prices. Seeing a turnaround on iron ore overnight, 7% up. Oil prices still low. Bit of a correction in that pair. So my bias is a rally in the Aussie CAD. Jenny couldn't keep away from the pound yen. So pound yen long for Jenny, which is my bias as well. I'm long pound yen myself. That's my only open trade. And gold, of course. I mean, if I wasn't long here, if I was not long, and we pull back, 139.50 area would be another area to look at going long. So anyway, I'm long there. See if Jenny comes up with an idea on that. Break your trade idea, virginity. Right, folks, I'll be back. Tony's going to be on in a couple of hours. I'll be back in 4 hours or so, if not before. I'll be in the chat room hanging out. So keep the chats coming and be mindful of Euro positioning. Apart from that, I do think it's going to be a reasonably quiet session, to be honest. We're seeing nothing going on in dollar index. Dollar yen falling away from the sell zone, a tad. Since we've come on. We were in there earlier, but putting back. I'll speak to you later, guys. Take care.